Hello YouTubes, I have been struggling with planning the next section of my layout, which is the railway station section. However, I finally come up with a plan. Well, my wife has come up with a plan, I just need to implement it. So this is the section we're talking about. Now, I'm not even sure if I'm going to keep this rock area. I might just remove that. That was from the previous layout and it used to live on that wall, but I only put it there because I didn't want to throw it out and it would seem a bit of a waste. However, I put one of these little 3D printed houses in just for measurement, and I think there's enough room to have either houses all the way along or industrial, short face buildings, rather than more of that. And to be honest, I much prefer what I've done over here anyway. So it's not up to standard, but that's not what we're doing today. Today I want to take care of this area here, namely the station. Everything on this area pivots around the planning of this railway station. So here's the deal. In Scotland and most of the UK, railway station platforms are fairly consistent design in that you step off the platform onto a train. How novel an idea, okay? So all the station platforms are probably about 2 meters high, right? So that you can step into a train. Not quite the same in North America, and certainly not where I am in Canada. Certainly the big commuter trains going into Toronto, the platforms are quite high, but anywhere a bit further out, the platforms are actually really low and you have to kind of climb up onto a train. And I've noticed even down in Niagara Falls when my mum visited, she got onto an Amtrak train, they had to bring out a little stool so that you could step up onto the stool and then step up quite high into the passenger coaches. So station platforms here, especially this one that I'm designing because it's a bit more rural, doesn't need to be very high. So let's have a closer look at how we're going to implement that onto my layout. So this is my station and that is the base of the station, the sort of concrete section. But obviously if I was to move this up to the edge of the track, because the track bed is a 1/4 inch high, it's way too low for our commuters to get onto trains, especially since I'll be adding ballast to at least this edge here. Now, the option would be to raise this up, but that means that every area around here is going to need to be sloped up to meet that, which is a lot of work. So I've come up with another, better idea. Instead of raising this whole area by a 1/4 inch, I really only need to raise the station by a 1/4 inch and a platform. Now, the platform doesn't have to be very deep. I would say we only need maybe about 1 inch of platform going all the way along, wide enough so that commuters can walk past each other without falling onto the tracks and dying, And it can go all the way up to maybe around here, all the way down, 1 inch wide, 1/4 inch high, all the way up to about there before the bend, enough for about 3 or 4 passenger coaches. Raise the station up by a 1/4 inch, so I need to cut out a rectangle of cork. So that's going to raise everything up. Along the edge of this platform, I'll just do a little retaining wall from the base up to the top of the new platform section, and maybe just do a little fence. I'm sure I could 3D print off some fencing like that just to go all the way along the edge. And likewise, so the fence would come along here on the platform. Station's a 1/4 inch, so it would come along here, fence all the way along. So the whole station's raised up, which means I don't have to touch any of this height-wise. You have to come down the stairs. As I mentioned this to Corky, and he reckoned, well, what about disabled parking and ramps? So I may have to install a little ramp at the back there for disabled commuters. But it means that all this can stay at the same level and I don't have the hassle of creating a slope. So that is the plan. Let's see if I've got any cork left. I found the last sheet. It's almost a full sheet, but plenty for what we need it for. So let me clear a space and we can get to work. Let's measure how much 1 inch wide platform section we need. So let's start with this section here before the track starts to bend. So let's go with there. And we'll take it all the way down to that section there before the track bends again. So let's go with 36. So that is 56 inches. Let's well draw it out. That should be fine. And then we need the area for our station, which I can just trace around on the cork. Let's just make sure we're happy with the placement. We actually already had an area drawn out for the station, and I think it's going to work just fine. So that's going to sit about there, up against the edge of the platform. Bus, other stuff all the way down here. I think that'll work fine. Right, let us get to the cutting desk. You know, the big white folding table. May as well use this corner for the station. Trace around that. Lovely. And we'll use the longer areas to cut our platform lengths. So I needed a total of 56. Let me just double check that. Yes, definitely 56. I think this section is already 36. Oh, it's not. It's actually 34, which is surprising because it's meant to be 2 feet by 3 feet. 34 inches, according to my calculation, is not 3 feet. Anyway, so we need to cut an inch strip there. We might as well cut 2 inch strips, and then we can chop one of them down. So this has lost its marking. I'm going to use my green ruler. So that's our 2 platform strips. Just got our station platform to cut. Excellent. Right, let's get it onto the layout, see if it's going to work. So, platform. I'll keep the good edge up this side, because it's the straightest part, I believe. Okay, that's good there. Next section obviously needs a bit of a trim. And our station platform area. Right, stick our station on there, make sure everything's going to plan so far. Perfect. So that's our little skinny platform. As you can see, oh, something's obviously not straight, and it's not where I cut it, so the track bed there must be slightly curved, but that's okay at this point, as long as it's straight at the station. So that's enough room for walking distance for people to get by. It extends all the way down there. The only trouble is, I'm thinking now, when I lay ballast in this section here, there's nothing to stop the ballast from falling onto the station platform itself. So I've got another plan. A long time ago when I first started this and I was thinking about cork roadbed, the cork roadbed that you could buy from the hobby store was really expensive. So I bought this stuff from Amazon, and when I got it I realised it was way too skinny. It's only maybe a millimetre thick, and I thought that's pointless, no point in using that as track bed. However, it's going to be ideal just to bring up the level along the station platform and the station area itself, just so that we've got a little wall for the ballast to lean against rather than dribble onto the platform and the station area. So what I'll do is I will trace around those sections of platform onto this, cut that out, and then glue that main platform section cork down, let that dry, and then glue this on top. Now, you may have spotted a slight change in plan. I decided this 1mm cork was just, it wasn't doing enough to justify putting that on, so I have doubled up on the 1/4 inch, so we've got 1/2 inch of height there. So down this level you won't see the rail, so it is an okay height. I've got a wee train coming round just to see what the coaches look like. It's hard to tell because you can't really see the difference in the cork because it's all cork coloured. But I think that's going to be much better than just the 1mm. And with the height of the station roof, I think that looks pretty good from here. So we need to wait for all the glue to set before we can do any more with this, but I do actually want to put another platform at the other side with a dodgy bridge or a dodgy crossing going across the 3 rails, which is never a good idea, but I've seen it done. And I have to decide if I'm keeping this or ditching it. I mean, I can obviously use all the trees, but I don't really think that rocky section is going to fit in this scene anymore. So I will let the glue dry and make a decision on that and see in a bit. It is now tomorrow, and I made a decision on my big rock wall at the back. It is gone. So if you get any suggestions on what I should fit at the back of a large 3-track station area, let me know. Is it going to be residential, industrial, retail, whatever? And we have about 3 inches of space at the other side of that platform. So all my glue is now set. I will be painting the inside section here at least, because once I put the ballast on, you're going to see that cork area. For the top of the platform, Wifey reckons I can just paint it. I disagree. I think I'm going to have to put a bit of card on top of that to make it smooth and then paint the card. And everything else looks fine. Height-wise, I'm good. And overnight, I printed off a nice set of stairs to go there. To finish that off, I've got a little human for size comparison. I think that works just fine. So I'm actually printing off another 2 sets of these. So the one at the side here, that goes to the bus station. Another one here will go to the general parking area. So I think that's going to work out just fine. So let me grab some dark grey paint just to get all the platform done for now. We can always lighten it or darken it or add a texture or add the card on top, but I think I'm going to have to adding some card, but we'll see. Let me grab some paint. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to add some card on top of the platforms. The cork is just way too textured and actually quite porous. So the good thing is if I add a bit of card on top, well, two good things. One, I can paint on whatever I want, because obviously I need a little white safety line along the edge. It also means I can add a bit of overhang just to bring the platform a bit closer to the rails. So I think that'll work. And the third thing, this actually, the station sits on a little base, as you can see, which actually raises everything higher than the 1/2 inch. So if I put a similar thickness of card as the station platform top, it should match up with that level there. Because at the moment you would need to step up to that concrete slab that the station sits on. And also while we're here, I will be adding a sort of retaining wall, a sort of brick wall all the way along, but I'm going to bring it up about 1 inch high. I seem to have the shakes on that finger. Hope we're okay. So if I bring it up about 1 inch, then we're going to have 1 inch high wall for the platform itself so people don't fall off. So that'll have two functions, that little wall, and that'll just finish off the platform. And it means that I don't have to line up this side of the card perfectly against this side of the platform, because it's going to be hidden by the wall. So I am going to wait for that paint to dry. Actually, while I'm waiting, I might put some ballast down the middle, because I don't have any turnouts from this point all the way up to there. So I can just blast in some ballast and that's that taken care of. Ballast is down, but before we glue it in place, we do of course have to do the crunch test. Let us begin with our little via rail locomotive that will be pulling passenger coaches, dropping them off at either this side or the other side. We are listening for any crunching. Oh, I think we're going to make it. One line down. And now I've got a large freight train coming along the far side. Big loco, lots of wheels. Great success! So I will switch the via rail over to the middle line and hopefully we will have 3 out of 3. Holding my breath. Wonderful. Good times. let's glue it all in place. So we need some isopropyl alcohol. We use this to release the surface tension of the stones and all the glue seeps through rather than just sitting on the top. Glue, diluted down, white glue. I think this is a 1-3 mix, 1 parts glue, 3 parts water. Takes a lot longer to dry, but it does seep in much better than just 50-50, I find. Okay, so I'll do maybe about a foot at a time because the IP does evaporate fairly quickly. Right, that's my ballast down and glued. It will of course take a while to set, so I'm going to leave that till tomorrow before I do anything else because I don't want to disturb it. So I'll give you a closer look before we finish up. Now, because I used quite a diluted mixture of glue, I was able to really squish it in there quite liberally. So I'm pretty sure every section is now covered. I think that looks quite nice. But what I think I'll do once it is dry, I might add some dark, a dark wash along the middle. Maybe just either at this end or the far end where the locomotive might sit and drip oil and dirty water and that kind of thing. It will dry a little bit lighter than that, but that's your overall idea for my ballast. I'm happy with that today. Next up will be the platform tops and a little bit of painting. I need to consult the wife about doing that because she's pretty good at it. And a little retaining wall. I think I've got a bag of different textured walls. And if not, I can always print something out on the old 3D printer. Thank you for watching. And I will see you very soon with the next installment of Station Platform Area Street. Bye for now.